Hey everyone, Jonathan here, and I just want to say how encouraging it is to see teachers around the world doing so many different things for their students to help them with their learning. I just want to do my bit and share some things that hopefully are helpful to you and how you can teach from home just with things that you might find lying around that you have. All right, let's get into it. Now, I know many teachers are sending out, physical resources, worksheets, sharing PowerPoints, and a lot of good stuff like that. And if your students are fortunate enough to have internet access and you want to film your videos, I've got 3 different ways how you might be able to do that. I've ranked these in order of complexity, I guess is how you might be able to say it, just in terms of what you might already have lying around the house that you can make use of. Here's the first one. This first one's super simple. All you need actually is your mobile phone. So most cameras on mobile phones these days are really good. They're actually better quality than like the first camera that I owned. So what you can do is you can just film straight from your phone, right? What you're gonna find very quickly though is that holding up your phone is not a very sustainable option because you can't really write and hold very still at the same time. So if you have a tripod, that's really good. But I've seen some really creative tripods all over the internet in terms of how to approach this. The favorite one I've probably seen is using this guy. If you have a music stand lying around and it's this particular type, which is these gaps here for you, they're perfect for pretty much using your camera because you can place it directly above your page and then you can just start writing, right? So if I have my quadratic here and I want to factorize it, how do I solve this particular equation? Well, what I can do is I can factorize, right? And then solve that way, okay? So this is really good because it's pretty much directly above my page. The angles are really good, very easy. All you need is a music stand. Even if you don't have a music stand of this type, any music stand would do actually. You can just hold it over the edge if you wanted to, just like that, right? And even leveling that up a bit using 2 piles of books and a grill, I've seen something like that. If you want to boost up the quality of this in a very simple way, if you grab your phone headset and plug that in, generally the audio quality in a headset is going to be a little bit better. So you can just have a listen to that one. Just make sure that you're using the external mic if your camera has that option. But you can see now I'm using the external mic here. Then we're going to solve just this quadratic. So either x is equal to -2 or -3, like that, and there's our solution, okay? So that's one way you can improve the quality of your videos if you're using a external mic just through your headset. If you have an external mic that you have lying around, like a USB one or something, that you can plug that in using a converter or an adapter, even better. Now, as teachers, we're generally more used to writing on a whiteboard. So there's 3 different ways you can have a makeshift whiteboard in your house. Here's the first, very simple way. Shout outs to Jennifer who showed me this actually. It's a really easy way to create a whiteboard out of just a piece of paper and a plastic sleeve like that. So it's just a few sheets slipped in there just to give it some bulk so I can write on it. Right? So if you start writing on it like so, we can see that that's going to be all well and good. Right? So when I'm looking at something like this, I'm thinking, it's a bit small. So what you might want to do is you could get a few of them and then stick them up at the back over here, or you could do what we did before and have like that hover cam kind of set up with your music stand and write it in that way. Advantages of that, I guess it's a bit easier to rub out and stuff. You can do things on the fly and you can see it does rub out. Generally over time though, it's going to become resembling the color that you write with. So if I'm using a purple marker, then you're going to get a lot of purple in here and it's going to start to fade through. An upgrade on that, this is actually designed for writing on whiteboards. It's by Modern Teaching Aids. So I'll just take this piece of paper and I'll slip it in like so. And it essentially does the same thing, but it's a bit thicker, it's a bit higher quality. And I guess when you're writing on it, hopefully the color is going to stain less. And if you want to rub that out, then you can do that. Over time though, this one still probably does stain, so just make sure you're spraying it as well. As you go, you can see there's a bit of a stain there. So just kind of be careful with it, yeah. And here's my last method of making videos from home. It's the last one in terms of complexity, right? Because you need a lot of technology in order to do this. So if you have a lot of this stuff, you can definitely make use of it. What you need for this method is either a Windows tablet or an iPad of a particular generation. So the 2018 generations and above, or any of the iPad Pros, they're good to go. This here is a Surface Pro 3. If you have a lot of new Windows tablets these days, they have this particular feature. It's called an active digitizer. There's basically a layer on the screen that supports the use of a special external stylus. This is the Apple Pencil. And what you can do with it, you can write like you normally would and it's actually quite accurate. It supports palm rejection as well, so you can actually have your hand on the screen at the same time, and you can see it's quite good, right? You may have one of these lying around, and this is like a stylus at the end of a pen. These are not quite the same, unfortunately, right? These are very similar to drawing with your finger, which if you do for an extended period of time, you'll see is quite tricky. And you can see already it doesn't support palm rejection, right? Because it's recognizing my palm, it's thinking that's like the thing that it's writing with. So you have to keep your hand above, and it makes it a bit tricky. It's not as accurate, and you can see you lose that kind of fine detail that you usually would, right? So this is probably something that would cause a bit more problems, but it is an option that you can use if you have that. So my current setup would be something like this. You can record straight from the iPad. You can use something called the screen recorder. So if you just swipe down from the top, and then you see this option here, you can see it's going to start recording. 3, 2, 1, go. And that red light means it's recording. Then you can go back into your normal writing, and you can go and annotate. It works with a microphone as well, so that's really good to use. One thing I like to do is also put my face in there, which adds a bit more of a human element to it. And Jules Speranza has a little video explaining why that's also a good thing. So definitely check that out. So that's 3 different ways you can record lessons from home. You can use your phone as a document camera. You can make your makeshift whiteboards, or you can use the one up the back there. And you can also use your tablet and your laptop if you have one. Another series that I want to point you to, Eddie Wu has made a great little series on teaching with YouTube. So make sure you check that out as well. There's a lot of great tips in terms of filming, editing, and all that good stuff. So that's another thing you can check out as well if you want more tips on that. At the end of the day, we all have different teaching styles. We all use different tools to teach. So I hope this is just giving you an idea of some of the different options you have available that you might be able to use to help your students continue to learn during this time. If you have any questions about the stuff I've talked about today, please leave a comment below. I'll also leave a lot of the links to the stuff that I've mentioned in the description as well. Hope that helps.